It was almost midnight when Valverde stood alone on the platform of Deep Tunnel Station, the one rumored to be haunted. The air was cold, and the wind coming from the tunnels felt like someone breathing behind him. Valverde was returning from work, but something about this night felt wrong. The train arrived slowly, the cars dim and flickering. He stepped in and sat at the very end of the carriage, immediately noticing strange things. An old man was standing in the middle, but his feet weren't touching the floor. Valverde blinked once, and the man disappeared. His heartbeat rose, but he tried to convince himself he was just tired. The train moved deeper and deeper into the tunnels, the darkness swallowing everything. A faint whisper reached his ears, someone calling his name. Valverde! Valverde! He looked around. Empty. Completely empty. Suddenly the lights shut off, drowning him in darkness. Footsteps echoed from the far end of the carriage, slow, dragging as the door rattled. When the lights flicked back on, a woman was standing there. Her long, soaked hair covered her face, and her dress dripped water. She stared without blinking, with eyes pitch black like a void. Valverde tried to move, but his body was frozen in place. She stepped forward slowly, water dripping with every step. In a faint voice, she whispered, "No one should ride the train after midnight." The door behind her slid open with a crimson glow. Screams filled Valverde's ears, dozens of voices at once. The woman stood inches away from him, smelling of dirt and damp walls. She lifted her hand painfully slow. "Why are you here?" she asked. He couldn't answer. His voice felt stolen. She leaned closer and closer, and suddenly vanished as the lights flared back up. The train stopped in an abandoned station, broken and ancient. Valverde stood, trembling, peering outside. A rusty sign read, "Exit of Spirits." The whispers returned, louder this time. "Leave! You don't belong here." His legs grew heavy, glued to the floor. The lights flickered violently like warning signals. The old man appeared again. Only this time he was inches away with no face at all. Valverde rushed the door with awe. As soon as Valverde stepped onto the abandoned platform, the air felt unnaturally cold. The ground was cracked, and the walls were covered in strange symbols, almost like they were drawn in blood. He looked behind him and saw the train closing its doors slowly, as if retreating from him. Suddenly its lights turned blood red, then vanished into darkness. Valverde felt someone standing behind him, but when he turned, nothing but pitch black. Step after step, he heard footsteps walking right beside him, breathing down his neck. He hurried toward the exit, but the closer he moved, the farther it seemed. The station felt like it was stretching, shifting. A deep voice whispered, "You shouldn't have come here, Valverde." His chest tightened as panic surged through him. The faceless old man appeared again, 10 steps away. But this time he was moving closer, dragging his feet. Every step he took made the floor tremble. Valverde sprinted toward the stairs, but the steps melted, like hot wax dripping in front of him. He was trapped. The only way out was a narrow tunnel on the side. He crawled inside, swallowed by the darkness. Something began chasing him, the sound of heavy breathing inches behind. Then, soft laughter, like a little child giggling. "Come play, Valverde." The words echoed straight into his mind. The tunnel narrowed so much he had to crawl on his elbows. His hand brushed something cold. A hand grabbed his ankle. He kicked violently until the grip loosened. He pushed deeper into the tunnel until he saw a faint glow. He crawled toward it, but realized it wasn't a light. It was an eye, a massive eye staring at him through a metal grate. The pupil widened until it swallowed all the light. A deafening scream filled his head. Suddenly, he was yanked backward with brutal force. He tumbled out of the tunnel, coughing dust. He found himself on another platform, newer but completely empty. On the ground lay an old piece of paper. The only escape is to face it. The moment he picked it up, he heard a train horn approaching. The train came at an impossible speed, like something unleashed from hell. It stopped inches from his face, doors sliding open. A voice whispered, "Get in, your time is up." His strength. He escaped the carriage just before darkness swallowed it again. Valverde stepped into the train, feeling his legs move without his control, like something was pulling him inside. The moment the doors shut, the entire carriage changed instantly. The seats rusted before his eyes, and the walls turned black and scorched. The train sped up violently, as if running from something or towards something. Light flashed for 1 second, darkness for 10. The shadows ruled the place. The woman reappeared, closer this time and far more terrifying. Her face was hidden, but her trembling voice dripped with rage. "You chose this path. Now you must finish it." He tried speaking, but his voice came out distorted, like it belonged to someone else. Suddenly she vanished, replaced by a small child. The child stood silently in the center of the carriage, tears of black ink running down his cheeks. Valverde crouched slowly and asked, "Who are you?" The child whispered, "We're all victims of the metro." The carriage lurched violently, as if sinking through the earth. Valverde felt the floor as screams echoed around him. Though the carriage was empty, the woman returned, hanging from the ceiling by her hair. She moved like her bones were shattered, twisting unnaturally. This train never lets anyone go unless a new sacrifice replaces them. Valverde backed away as panic overtook him. The faceless old man appeared again, this time close enough for his features to form. His face was a merge of multiple screaming faces layered together. The train screeched to a sudden stop, not at a station, but in the middle of a pitch-black tunnel. The doors opened by themselves, icy air stabbing his skin. A deep voice echoed, "Get out, or we will pull you out." Terrified, Valverde hesitated, but something pushed him hard. He landed in the tunnel as the train drifted away. The moment it disappeared, the darkness ahead flickered. A long corridor appeared, filled with silent walking figures. Ghosts drifting forward endlessly. All of them turned their heads toward Valverde. Suddenly a scream erupted from the end of the tunnel, earth-shattering. Every ghost began sprinting toward him. They didn't run, they charged. Valverde bolted, heart exploding in terror. But the tunnel stretched unnaturally, endless. The sound behind him grew closer, closer. His hand struck a massive iron door. It was open just a crack. Behind it was a void of darkness. A whisper rose from inside. "Come, your end is here." Valverde stood before the massive iron door, feeling the world collapse around him. The whispers behind him grew so close he could feel their breath on his neck. He pushed the door open slowly, hearing a loud, painful screech. Behind it was pure emptiness, a deep, unnatural void. He stepped inside hesitantly, and the door slammed shut behind him. He found himself standing in an extremely old station, older than anything he'd seen so far. The place was filled with human statues frozen in terrified poses. He approached one and touched it. It felt like skin. The statue wasn't stone, it was a person. Suddenly the ground shook, and the statues began moving, as if waking from 1,000-year sleep. One approached him and whispered in a broken voice, "We were all like you, running." Valverde stepped back, but the wall behind him sealed shut. A train arrived, but this one was different. Its body was made of breathing, moving skeletons. The doors opened, releasing a cloud of black smoke. The woman's voice returned. "Enter, become one of us. Refuse, and they will take you." The statues moved faster now, eyes glowing red, closing in on him. They marched toward Valverde like predators. Through the smoke, the faceless old man appeared again. But this time his face formed clearly. It was Valverde's own face. He said, "I am your future if you stay." Every muscle in Valverde's body froze in terror. He screamed, "I won't be one of you," and he sprinted toward the train. He leapt inside just as the doors slammed shut. The train shot forward at impossible speed, darkness swirling around him. Suddenly, light burst through, and he found himself back at the original station. The clock read 12:01. The station was empty, silent, as if nothing had happened. He stepped out shaking as the lights returned to normal. But as soon as he crossed the exit gate, a whisper echoed behind him. The metro after midnight never lets anyone go. He spun around. The same child stood on the platform, staring at him. The child smiled and said, "See you tomorrow night."